Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Firewood Doctor. I'm here at Tony's Cool Tools, the man, the myth, the legend, and B&F Firewood is out here too, so that was a double pleasant surprise. So we're going to be checking out the Eastonmade Axis today of Tony's, which looks like a big machine when I walked up to it. So now let's go get it checked out and meet the crew.
Putting out the wood.
Yeah, we all need to get working. I don't have my gloves with me, but this is Francis, Brittany, and Tony.
What you're going to do when you first get your thing, or you first get your access, is one, make sure that if you're getting a conveyor, that you ask them if the conveyor comes assembled or if it's two-piece. Because if you happen to travel 2 to 3 hours to pick it up and you didn't bring a trailer, you're in trouble. So ask Jerry with a G or the folks at Eastonmade if it comes assembled or disassembled. More often than not, it will come disassembled because these are too high on a semi. It's over 14 feet. So anyways, that's the first thing. It comes packaged very well, so we'll start off down here. For traveling purposes, the foot pedal here, you loosen it down right there. We're going to just move some of this out of here so that you got plenty of room. But there's very little, there's maybe 3/4 to an inch of play. So some of the other competitors, you have to actually lift your foot up and push real hard on there. But it does come out with a gauge for your hydraulics here.
Is that a temperature gauge?
It is.
It's also a fluid level too?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
2-in-1.
Yep. So you have your table here, which is the benefit of the Axis. It really is a great work table. You'll see that once we lift it up. You stage everything here and push it in, and if you have the conveyor, it just goes right up the conveyor and out. Or if not, you position your tote right next to you. You never have to do more than 1 to 2 steps, and that's the benefit of the Axis here. If we walk around the back side here, when you position the unit, you have outriggers that pull out of here to stabilize it on uneven ground. You have a anti-theft device here. Besides being a tow, you can pull this out and remove it and store it if you leave it on your property. It's kind of hard for somebody to take it. It has the 14 horsepower Briggs engine. And let's see here. I recently did a video here. You may want to get one of these, changing these hoses. It'll make your life easier for changing the oil on that.
Like an extension?
It is, yeah. Otherwise, there's a little plug here. You pull that plug and it just drains all the way. Well, it oozes all over the hose and everything else. So
I thought of another anti-theft thing. I was thinking about when I get my Wolf Ridges, those locking receiver hitch, those locking pins for the receiver hitch insert.
Absolutely.
I think that would work great too, because then no one can fashion a tow bar for it and take it away.
That is true.
I thought that's a great idea. You got to pass that on to everyone else.
I want to thank Brittany for my pinwheel here. It is really accenting my access here.
I thought maybe one of the grandkids
No.
decorated it for you.
No, but this uses similar to a boat anchor here, where you click it on and it lowers or brings it up. So, and this thing here is set. I've lowered the angle. Originally I had it much higher up and it wasn't feeding as well. This feeds a little bit. I may even lower it a little bit more, but we'll show that in just a minute here. Well, I'll tell you what, we can go ahead. Let me grab some protective device or some earmuffs.
Now, Tony, is this, what's the tow speed on this?
No more than 50 miles. 50 miles and under.
Miles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I'll be doing a video here shortly on towing with lights. I have lights that I've rigged up for this. So even though you really don't need them, it makes it a lot safer for you.
Have you towed this any place?
Yes. Yes, I have.
How does it tow?
It tows very well.
Very well.
Naturally, you have the conveyor, and you kind of notice it because it kind of stands up in the air, but it tows pretty decently. I'm not taking it hundreds of miles. I'm taking it 10 miles at best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I do plan on taking it somewhere, I will put it on a trailer and then naturally
That's
take
what
it.
I was wondering. If you
Yep.
trailered it or if you towed it, I didn't notice if it had any sort of. Does it have like any sort of spring system underneath that? Or
Yes,
not?
this is a
Okay.
torsion suspension
Torsion,
on this,
okay.
unlike the 1222, which is a solid bar.
Okay.
So that one bounces around. This one does work very well.
All right. Sounds great.
Before we even start, there's some maintenance items that you have to do. The first one is these vertical tubes, are called ways. We grease them up both sides. So on this side here and on the back, this is where I seem to get more wear, is right here, and you can see where the wear is starting. So I make sure that I have greased that very well. We make sure we fill up the gas tank, which is about just under 2 gallons in there, and it will last about 2 hours and 45 minutes, somewhere in the area, on one tank full. So these little rags that I have, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing leaking. These are filled with this product that I use on the table, and I use this on all my equipment. It's called fluid film. I'm not sponsored by them, I don't get free product, but it really works good, and you'll see momentarily. I've coated this table with it. A couple of things, I don't have as much wear. Now I don't know if that's a cause or not, but I know several other people that I talk to that have access. There's wear on that. So, but the best part that I like is my wood slides on it, and you'll be able to see. Put that down there. Let's go ahead and load you up here. We'll start her up here.
Any special
Oh,
instructions?
how do you like that? My choke just came loose, so.
Radio was playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
I turned the radio on. It sounded like it was playing some.
All right, it should start now. That's about 2 inches. So what I do is I come up here and I cut this part off. Now I bring that right up there. That's about 2 inches. So switch it to this way, and now it won't kick out. Make sure that your thumbs are over here, and then you just press on that, and now you can sandwich cut them.
How big do you want them?
It doesn't matter, 2 inches. Conveyor. turn the conveyor on, that takes a little bit of power away from your ram here. So that's why I run it at a slow speed. I don't need it shooting the log out. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, these two devices here are called peelers. So if you get a piece of wood that's stuck and it comes up this blade, it'll hit this before, and that'll bring that whole thing up, so you don't need to get a sledgehammer and pound it off of your splitter.
Now I have a question on that one,
Sure.
Tony. If you've got your length set to 16 inches,
Okay, good question.
all right, it's not going to retract far enough, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I've got this set for 16 inches. We didn't cover that behind here. This device right here I'll take that off and just set that up here, and I'll show you when we turn it back on, that knife is going to go all the way up. But since I cut most of my wood to 16 inches, that's a time saver because the ram doesn't have to go all the way back before it comes forward. So this is set at about now 17 inches. So even if I screw up and do 14 inches to 17 inches, it'll cover 90%. Anything that's 17 above, I just toss it off to the side, and I know I'm going to either cut it afterwards by raising the knife or cut it to 16 inches with my chainsaw.
All right.
So that's what we'll do. And then we'll be making some what I call Picasso wood here. It's real pretty. Yeah. This is one of the trees that we took off at a property. I call it the Prairie Restoration. He had a giant oak tree that we took down, and this is some of the wood. But when you split it, it just splits so nice, and that's why I called it Picasso wood. A lot of this is just some of the stuff that I got here. It's already starting to crack, so you'll be able to see some of this is the older stuff ready to burn already.
I was just looking at the grain of the
Mm-hmm.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to read wood, just like your splitter that you have now. Yeah. A lot of times when you get one where a branch comes in and you have a crotch or real ugly wood, you have to watch those, because this does better than my horizontal splitter, because I can shave the pieces off and still harvest a lot of good firewood out of something that's ugly that would get smashed on a horizontal.
How does that work on there when you come across some crotches and stuff? Does it have a tendency to kick out more?
Not kick out, no. What kicks out more is if the wood is not cut square.
Okay.
So if it's not at an angle or whatever, but the nice thing about this is you can tilt it to meet the angle and feather the knife. Okay. So a lot of times with any of the other splitters, you press the handle to go forward, and you don't have much control over it. Yeah. With this thing here, with the foot, you can go very gently till you reach it and then press down.
Really? So
yeah, you have a tremendous amount of control. I just recently did a video where I was shaving cherry wood, shaving the outsides of it so that I could get beautiful billets of firewood. And that's the benefit of the Axis. Yeah.
I noticed one feature on here that I never saw on any of the other videos, is that it didn't get a good close-up, is where the wedge is here, then how it's welded in, it has these little metal pieces in here for like to spread the wood.
Uh-huh.
So you have this real nice thin profile, and then after the wedge is like nearly all the way through, like halfway through the piece, it seems like, then it spreads it out. So that really helps in the splitting ability.
Yeah.
In big stuff or snotty stuff.
Is reasonably dull. Mm-hmm. Harry from the Driftless Homestead just did a video, I think today, on it. He sharpened this, and it will shave. I mean, it will make a huge difference on your splitter. Right now, as you can see, I don't have virtually any debris. We're looking at, that's about it. That's the other thing that I love about this unit, is there really is no junk that you get.
Yeah. Very nice unit.
Yeah, so I'm very pleased with that. Yes, it is a little bit slower than a 1222, depending, because Adam from Hometown Acres did one where he had the 1222 and the Axis, and I did the same thing. And you're pretty close, but if you're doing boiler wood or whatever, the horizontals with the auto retract, that beats this hands down. But if you're doing nice wood, bundle wood, if you're doing kindling, anything, without a doubt, this is the way to go.
Sounds good.
quick and easy.
That is awesome machine.
Incredibly precise with the. Once you get the hang of it, it is really precise and I put my foot down all the way and it didn't seem to be overly fast. You know, wasn't.
Nope.
I didn't feel like it was out of control.
No, it doesn't.
You know, with as far as the speed and operating it, you know, I was.
And there's
I
our
went to,
there's our debris.
yeah, from all that splitting
I moved your camera.
of
You don't need
that wood.
anything
That
more
was
than
all
a
the
13
debris.
gallon.
It's amazing. I would have had like an insane amount of debris with my box store splitter,
That's it.
because and that spray was really nicely. It just slides unbelievably well. I never had anything slide that good on a metal table.
Until you try that, it's like you said, it's unbelievable. It takes something and cuts the weight considerably by just moving it, by just spraying it.
If the wood, the crazy thing about it was sliding those pieces of wood across the table. You don't feel the weight.
No,
It is
loaded.
unbelievable.
Is that
Yeah.
because of
That's
the spray?
it's the spray. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever coating is on there, it's almost like a silicone.
That
And
is
it just, as you can see, the heavier the piece that you just threw that first one and it just slid.
She's like,
Yeah.
oh,
I was ready for like.
That's it. You're ready for yours, and it's just like, whoa, wait a second.
I could tell if compared to like my box store splitter, is that if I go into bundles, I'm probably going to add this machine to the to be a companion to my the
There you
horizontal
go.
one I got an order in.
There you
I'd
go.
probably go without the conveyor because I can't justify the cost, because for one, I don't have a tractor to move totes and stuff yet. But by the time I add a second machine, I'll have a tractor. So it's like, who knows where it's going to end up in, in 2, 3, or 4 years.
Got to shoot high because you don't know where you're going to land.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Because you
and
might
the-
be
and the production
increasing
lead
your
time
wood
is,
yard by tenfold because you
that's
don't
it.
know that you're going to
Production
grow
lead
that
time is
much.
ridiculous. Some people can get in 9 months for these machines, sometimes a year, depending on which model they're
good
ordering.
quality products, people are willing to wait for them.
Yes.
And it's like, and that's why they hold their resale values. It makes it a good buy. You know you can get rid of it with no problem.
Well, I'm not going to use the word get rid
rid
of.
of.
You know, you can resell it.
resell it.
Yeah.
That's a better term. Yeah. Or if
The investment holds its value.
yeah, or if you happen to, your health happens to
That's
take a
it.
nosedive, well then that would be called getting rid of it.
Correct.
If you can't use it anymore.
Any certain grease you use on that, Tony, for lubrication? Just
Andrew had said wheel bearing grease, and that's what
Wheel
I'm just multi-purpose. As long as
okay.
if you notice, Chris from the wood yard uses oil.
yeah.
I use the grease because I don't have, on his it's a horizontal surface. This is a vertical, so I want something that's tacky. And they make other stuff that's even real tacky, but wheel bearing grease seems to work fine for me.
Well, I noticed something on doesn't Chris have a replaceable plate underneath his too?
No, that's on the 1222. There's
Okay.
a brass and phenolic plate on the
Okay.
bottom, and it just wears. The more you put into it, that phenolic material absorbs it, and it's almost it feels like it's
Self-lubricating?
self-greasing. Yeah,
It
after a
becomes
while.
self-lubricating
Right.
after a while.
That's it.
And they don't. Could they incorporate something like that into these on the backside?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I
anything.
could-
There's, as you can see,
Yeah,
there's
it
very
might be
little
tough,
wear
though.
plate.
Yeah.
It might be tough to do it on here because on theirs they have that edge where the
That's true.
brass
Where
rides
bolts are-
on.
that's
And then you
true.
can bolt it on because that would be in the way
Yeah.
here. But then that would get in the way of your splitting here too.
Was there?
Thank you, folks, for joining me on this special episode of Firewood Doctor. The rain is coming, so he's going to get the splitter under cover, so maybe there'll be some other things to pick up. So until next time, folks, take care, get out there, do something, but have fun doing it.